Hi, it's Tracy from Two Rocks Tarot with this week's Learn Lenormand with me, and today we're going to be looking at the clouds. So the clouds is this card is a negative card. Whenever this card shows up, it indicates that you are confused or don't have a clear picture of what's going on. With this card, it pays to look where the dark sides of the clouds are. If facing the card that reflects what you're asking about, then it shows that there will still be some dark nights of the soul. If it is the lighter, brighter side of the card, then you have passed through the worst of it and things should clear up and move on more positively. With appearance, clouds people are often grey-haired or dark, or could have their hair with multiple layers and colours. A face like thunder, where it literally looks like the wind has changed and their face stayed like that, like our mums used to warn us about when we were kids. They can be very unpleasant with a quick temper and often come up as an unstable ex-partner or boss. And actually that's actually my ex-husband to a T. So when it comes to the health problems that the cloud card indicate, health is usually severe mental illness and anything in the head area. So I think teeth would fall into this area, as we've all heard, like a bear with a sore tooth. And also lungs, Timing is unpredictable, but can indicate a day or night, a rainy day or autumn. It's really hard to sort of predict because the clouds cards is a card of confusion. So everything that you ask about and the cloud card is there, it's confused. You're not seeing the whole picture. So if we were going to look at the... sorry, I'm just drinking some coffee. I don't usually drink coffee at this time of the day. It's only 1 o'clock, but I usually have some coffee at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So if we're looking at the differences, so the first card that you can see, and I'm going to put them along on the bottom, I think it might be easier to see. We've got the clouds from the Chiro Machete card. So then we've got Titania Fortune cards. Then we've got the Albumen Lenormand by Alexandre Mazrak. And there's my cards for my Australiana Lenormand deck. So if you're looking at Chiro's, it's got the bright side up the top and the bottom. So on the bottom, it's got a lot of thunderstorm, like there's a lightning and things like that happening, which is quite good. But the trouble with this card is if this card is on top of the card that you're asked, so if it come on top of your client card, it's always going to have the dark side on it. So if things were improving for your client, you're not going to see it because the bright side is always up at the top. Whether with Titania's one, it's a little bit easier. I mean, if it's on the top, it's still a little bit darker, but it's also a little bit brighter. You have to really pay attention to where the dark and the light side are when it comes to looking at the clouds card. It's the same with Alexandra Mazrak's one. It's very, very dark, but he's actually got a face, and I don't know if that'll show up in the film, but that's actually a face above in the cloud, looking down. And then my card is taken at towards the evening when a storm rolls in, but actually that can also be at lunchtime as well. It can get very, very dark when a storm comes in. So, mine is the same. It's very, very dark. So you have to beware. So in general, if the dark is sitting on top of your client's head, then, of the card that represents your client, then they are very confused, having dark thoughts. They're not happy. If it appears to the left side of your client, well, then the brighter side is going to be facing to them. Well, then that was in the past. So generally speaking, the left side in a Lenormand reading is the past, where the right side is the future. So if you are going to have the client card here, so if you've got a 9 card square, so then you've got the client card in the middle, but your cloud card is on the right hand side, and that's in the future. Well, it doesn't show what's happening. There's no ending to it, if you know what I'm saying. So even with the Grand Lenormand, the GT, if that is on the very far right and there's no cards coming after it, then it doesn't look like there's anything that's going to alleviate what's going on in their life, any of the problems. You're not going to be able to physically see it. So you'd have to actually do another spread. So it's very ambiguous. You have to really put your thinking cap on when the clouds come up, even as a reader trying to interpret it and get the best reading that you possibly can for your client. It really, really is a card of confusion no matter what. So if you're looking at the timing of this, it's a little bit hard to tell, isn't it? Because with my card, it's you know, it could be in the afternoon, could be in the evening. With Ciro Micchetti's one, it could be kind of in the afternoon, but it could be the same thing as well. It's the same kind of meaning as mine. With Titania's, I'd say more towards the evening as well. And I suppose even with Alexander Mazurek, so it looks like it's more towards the evening. And I think the reason being is because the Clouds card is much like the Nine of Swords card. And as you can see, you have a lady, this is from the Golden Nouveau Tarot, you got a lady that's sitting up in bed, she can't sleep, she's just overwhelmed with worries. Oh, excuse me. And it can also be nightmares as well. It can also represent nightmares. So don't always just think about what's going on during the day in your client. It literally represents a dark night of the soul when you're up all night worrying and you can't sleep, and then you know your eyes look like pea holes in the snow when you wake up in the morning because you're just so worried about things. So to really understand the clouds is like the Nine of Swords. It's all mental. Anything that's happening is mentally. That's why it represents mental illness so much, because of that particular thing. So then if we go into look at how the clouds, so let's put the clouds, and I'm just going to chuck it in anywhere in the middle, and we'll just give it a shuffle, and we'll see what the cards before and what's after it. And then I might actually, that'll do, let's have a look. Alright, so, and I'll just leave it at the 3 card one. I don't think I'll bother doing at the actual. So what came up is the card before is the actual fox. And then the card after it actually come up to is actually the child as well. So it can mean a couple of things. It can mean that if you've got children, that one of them is hiding something from you, they're being a little bit shifty. And also because the child represents something that is new, and it could also be that they are actually suffering from mental illness, and they haven't told you. They're trying to cope with it on their own. So they might have been acting out of character. They might be being what you perceive to be a little bit shifty, might be sleeping a lot during the day, and you can hear them getting up at the night time. It's all very new for them, and that's why they haven't said anything. Perhaps they don't even realise that they're suffering from a mental illness, because it's very insidious. It's such a broad term, mental illness, and there's not one word. Every single person in this world, if they were to suffer from mental illness, it would be different for each and every one of them. You can't cap it. You can't put a cap and lock it up. A lot of cancers, we know there's melanoma, we know there's leukemia, we know there's lung, throat, we know there's all that type of cancer. But with mental illness, you can't even comprehend how much it is. I mean, of course, sure, we have got the bipolar and schizophrenia, and just normal depression, but then there are so many variants to it, you just cannot pinpoint it. So this could be a very new thing for them. It's a new thing for you as a parent because you haven't seen your child act in this way, and you may, as what I did when my youngest daughter started showing signs of bipolar, think it's just teenage angst, and it wasn't. It was something far more serious. So this is what I mean about the clouds. They're confused, you're confused because they're changing and you're not too sure what to do, and you have to use the fox. You've got to use the smarts of the fox to try and figure out what's actually going on with them. Okay, and this can also, not only because it's new, this could also represent yourself. If you've never suffered from it before, I mean, let's face it, with the COVID happening, people losing their jobs left, right and centre, it's absolutely crazy. This could be something that's happening to you and you don't know the symptoms. You don't realise what's happening to you is something a little bit more darker. So that's what I mean about the clouds. It's not going to actually pinpoint exactly what's going on. It'll give clues, but you've really got to look hard to where the clouds is pointing. Now, if I was worried about my daughter, I'd feel quite relieved that the bright side is actually pointing towards the child. If it had been the other way around, then I know that would be more of a struggle. So these are the things, Now, if we were going to, actually, I forgot to, I've got my Isabel Snail Tarot here. So let's have a look. If, say, you pull the Clouds card and you decide you want to pull a tarot card to see how the energy of the Clover card is affecting us today. So let's have a look. And this is just a general, as I do it, you know, just a general reading. So how is the Clover card? I've got one come up wrong. Sorry, the Clouds card, actually. I might shuffle it again because I said Clover. You have to really say what you feel. How is the Clouds card affecting us today? And well, you know, what's the message of that? Well, actually, I ended up getting two. So what's the message? So I got the King of Wands. And I got the beautiful Star card. So what's the message is not losing hope, isn't it? So if you were to pull the Cloud card and you're confused and you're not really sure what's wrong, and you ask for some clarification, so what these two cards are telling you is that you will gain control as the King of Wands. I always do that, mirror images, honestly. So you will gain control, and that's what the King of Wands is actually pertaining to. You will be in control again, and you will find hope. You will find your star. You will shine again brightly. You won't have any of the dark thoughts. And what I like about this star is how it's got a dark circle in it. So it shows that, right, particularly if it was mental illness, that darkness is always going to be in there, but you will overcome it because there's a beautiful bright light shining all the way around it. And no matter how dark you feel, you are somebody's shining bright life in their life. Okay, so you know, like, yeah, that's what I'm getting. And the snail is looking to I love this. I just love this deck, actually. The snail's actually looking into the cup or the vase, whatever that's tipping out water, all the emotions that are draining out of you. And that's what it's saying, that all of the hopes and everything have, you know, they have been heard. You will be in balance again, you know, up and down. Sure, you're going to be down sometimes, but you'll be up. But to always remember that, you know, you are the light in somebody else's life, and that's just perfect. I remember when my when my daughter, you know, when we discovered she had bipolar, and I did say to her that that it's what makes you unique. You know, as hard as this terrible disease is for anyone who knows out there who suffers from it, it is also what makes you unique. And a lot of artists, a lot of singers are bipolar, and they create the most beautiful music, the most beautiful art, and my youngest is the most caring, kindest, beautiful young woman that a mother could hope for. So she's, and I'm not just saying that because I'm her mother, because everybody thinks that way about their kids, but she truly is kind, you know. And one of her nicknames when she was a kid, we used to call her Sarah the Carer, because she's such a caring soul. So, you know, and she's definitely the light in my life, you know, and I accept her, you know, for who she is. And I said to her, you know, it's what makes you unique. And just like her being left-handed, she's the only left-hander in the family that I know of. Oh, no, actually, my father is the same. He can use both, as can she. So, you know, she to me, she's perfect, and it doesn't matter that I don't even know how to, if I'm articulating what I want to say properly, but I just want people who suffer from that they are unique. It's a part of them. You can't get rid of it. No matter how much medication you're on to keep you in balance and everything, it's always there. Just like that little dark circle in the star, it's always there. But your light is brighter than that. You shine brighter, you know. You really, really, truly do. You are a star. And for those of you who suffer from anything like mental illness, I just want you all to know that you are all perfect just the way you are. And I know, of course, you need to have it under control because, let's be blunt here, you know, people kill themselves over it. But I just want to, I suppose, put it out there that you are a star in somebody's life, and that we love you just the way you are, and try not to change to suit other people. Try to change for the benefit of yourself, if that makes sense. I think I'll stop there because I keep gabbering on. But I just wanted people to know that, I don't know, that you're normal, okay? Even though you feel far from it, you're normal, you're beautiful, and, you know, and you've got people that love you, you know, they really, really do. And if you are having a dark night of the soul out there, I wish you all the best in your journey to shine brightly again. And I'm always here for you too. If people want to email me and just shoot the breeze, I'm always open to it. I mean, just because I'm up here on YouTube, the reason I do these videos is because I care about people, and because I want people to get the benefit of Lenormand and tarot cards and things like that, how they benefited me when I was going through those dark nights of the soul. If I didn't have that Lenormand deck, oh my God, if I did not read in that deck that I would one day be happy, I honestly don't know if I'd be sitting here. I kid you not, I was really that bad. So, you know, this was a lifesaver for me, and that's why I do these for free. I mean, I'm sure I could charge for classes and things like that, but I don't want to, because when I needed it, I didn't have the money to go for classes or do anything like that. I just taught myself, and I'm sure there's many of you out there now that are like that, particularly with the COVID and everything like that. So, you know, that's why I do what I do on YouTube, because I care about people. So if people want to email me and ask me questions, I'm more than happy to help. I truly, truly am. So until next time, take care, and this is Tracy.